Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the November 12th, 2025 New Bern Board of Aldermen meeting. The prayer tonight will be given by Alderman Royal.
Good evening. Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for yet another opportunity for us to gather as a Board of Aldermen and as citizens of this great city to look to you for guidance, for wisdom, for knowledge, and direction. We pray tonight, Father God, that your will continue to be done as we continue to remember our neighbors, those who are in a crisis in this hour, those who have lost everything, those who are suffering from food insufficiency, whatever the needs might be. We look to you for help, and we thank you that as a city, God, that we will pull together and again love our neighbor as we love ourselves. I pray tonight that you will bless us, that our decisions will be guided by the Spirit of God. I pray that everyone in the room tonight will be led by the Spirit, hear the voice of God, and respond respectively. This is my prayer, and I ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. If you're able to do so, please stand as we pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Board, item number 2 is to consider the appointment for the vacancy in Ward 1. So I would look to entertain a motion to make that appointment.
So moved.
Second. That appointment is for Alderman-elect Trey Ferguson, to be clear. Is that correct?
So moved.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, at this time, Alderman-elect Ferguson, please come forward to have the oath administered.
Do you, James Trey Ferguson, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, so help you God?
I do.
Do you, James Trey Ferguson, solemnly swear that you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office as Alderman, so help you God?
I do.
Do you, James Trey Ferguson, solemnly and sincerely swear that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alderman Ferguson, would you like to make any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just say thank you to this board for the opportunity to fill this vacancy. Thank you to the voters of Ward 1 for entrusting me in this very important role, and I seek to represent you to the best of my ability. And with that, ready to get to work.
All right, sounds good. Madam Clerk, if you would, please call the roll.
Alderman Ferguson,
Here.
Alderman Royal,
Here.
Alderman Astor,
Here.
Mayor Odham,
Here.
Alderman Kinsey, Alderman Best,
Present.
Alderman Outlaw.
Here. Okay, Board, next up is item number 4, to approve the agenda. Are there any changes you'd like to make?
There's no changes. Mayor, I'd like to, sorry. If there's no changes, I'd like to approve the consent agenda as is.
This number 4, approve the agenda.
Yeah, approve the agenda as is.
Okay.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda is approved. Next is request and petition of citizens, Madam Clerk. Thank you. We have Ms. Soraya Bliss.
Hello there. This is a question for the alderman in the room. How many of you think that the citizens of New Bern should be required to pay a couple of $100s for an arborist report for every tree removal permit, even though there's no city ordinance or HPC guideline requiring an arborist report for every tree removal permit? Despite there being no legal requirement that mandates every tree removal permit have an arborist report, the city went ahead and added that requirement anyway. I bet I'm not the only one that would like to know, how is it that staff is allowed to unilaterally add a blanket requirement to a form that costs a citizen on average $200 to $400? One answer the city provided is, quote, the arborist note is intended to be a courtesy to an applicant to put them on notice in case they need more than a simple photograph, end quote. If that's the case, why is it presented as an absolute requirement? For the record, the tree permit form was altered in 2022 after I questioned the city's demand for an arborist report to remove a tree that was doing damage. Another thing that doesn't feel quite right is having a historic preservation administrator and an HPC board chair unaware of what hand tool means. They both said it was a tool that you hold with your hands. That's incorrect. This ties to HPC guideline 6.1.6, requiring hand tools for paint removal. Recently, the city said that it's been interpreting that guideline to allow mechanical devices you hold in your hands for 5 to arguably 30 years. If that's actually the case, which seems suspect, how have you, the oversight board for the HPC, allowed an interpretation of a rule that is so drastically different from the actual rule to stand for 3 decades? Shouldn't that be formally changed and put into writing for the benefit of the public? Are there other 30-year-old unwritten rules that the public would benefit from knowing? Who gets access to these secret interpretations? And if the rules and laws are not written down, how do we know that they're being exercised fairly and citizens are getting their due process? Speaking of due process, in 2020, well within the 5 to 30-year interpretation window, I was told specifically I had to follow Rule 6.1.6 as written. Here's an excerpt from the email between me and the city. Me, are you saying that only handheld tools can be used to scrape loose paint? No mechanical methods of any kind are permitted to scrape? City, guideline 6.1.6. Remove paint and other loose material with scrapers, sandpaper, and similarly moderately abrasive hand tools. Me, are you saying that no sanding is permitted on historic houses or just no machine sanding? City, no machine sanding to remove paint. Me, another method I understand is okay is heat. Is that correct? City, that is not a moderately abrasive hand tool. I had to spend tens of thousands of extra dollars and had years of delay to meet your demands. It would have been so helpful if I was one of the lucky ones that the unwritten rules applied to. My ask is the same as it has been since April. Stop operating in the dark, hold yourselves accountable. And pro tip, don't ask the person that broke it to fix it. That's the same thing as asking the arsonist to look into the fire. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, board, next up is the consent agenda. What's the pleasure of the board on items 6 through 11?
Mayor, make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call vote starting with Alderman Ferguson.
Alderman Ferguson,
Aye.
Alderman Royal,
Yes.
Alderman Astor,
Yes.
Alderman Best,
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw,
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Next is item number 12. Conduct a public hearing and consider adopting an ordinance to close the terminus of East Street. Mr. Hughes.
The Redevelopment Commission has made a request to close a portion of the East Street right-of-way. This request is being made to help facilitate the Redevelopment Commission's West A Street project. After conducting a public hearing, the board is asked to consider permanently closing this terminus.
Does the board have questions? Okay, at this time, I will open a public hearing on item number 12, and that is to consider adopting the closing of terminus of East Street. If there's anybody like to come forward, please do so at this time. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to understand which area of East Street are you planning on closing? I mean, is it that one located there by down K Street?
Mr. Hughes.
So the area in question you can see on the map right here. You'll actually see North Bern Street and West A Street where they come together. East Street is an unimproved right-of-way right there, and so it's basically the area that goes up to the railroad right-of-way. That is the only area.
Okay, that's over there off National Avenue.
That is, well, it's not adjacent to it. It's closer to Greenwood Cemetery than anything.
Okay, yeah, okay, right off there. Okay. All right, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
There's no others. Like to close public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is now closed. What's the pleasure of the board on item number 12?
Mayor, make a motion to adopt an ordinance to close the terminus of East Street.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Royal.
Alderman Royal,
Yes.
Alderman Astor,
Yes.
Alderman Best,
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw,
Yes.
Alderman Ferguson,
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Next is item number 13. Conduct a public hearing and consider adopting an ordinance to rezone 2 parcels located at 207 South Glenburnie Road from I-1 Industrial District to R10S Residential District. Ms. Ruth. You need the remote?
Yeah.
Colleen, we need the remote for the PowerPoint.
It's in front of the laptop, in front of.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. This evening we have one rezoning request. It's located at 207 South Glenburnie Road. This is a request to go from the current zoning of Industrial 1 to a proposed zoning of Residential 10S. Both properties, both parcels total just under an acre at 0.9 acres. The current zoning is a light industrial district. It's described here. It's your just low intensity industrial and warehousing type uses. And the proposed zoning is Residential 10S. Residential 10S is a zoning district where you are allowed to build a single family home by right, and almost everything else that's allowed in there would be a public use requiring some kind of special use permit. Those differences are outlined on the chart before you. This location is about 800 feet southwest of the intersection on Oaks Road. This is a visual of the property. You can see there is an existing single-family residential home on site. As I always illustrate to you, we notified all property owners within 100 feet, and they were mailed notice of this public hearing. Here's an aerial image that shows the residence and the vacant parcel behind it. This illustrates in the yellow where there's residential zoning, and then in the light gray where there is the light industrial, and the darker gray that's heavier industrial. So we can see the same zoning and uses are in the vicinity. A couple of considerations before your decision. The Planning and Zoning Board did recommend unanimously that this request gets adopted based on consistency with the land use plan update. In addition to that, looking at what's in the vicinity and the existing use on property being a residential use already. With that, I will answer questions.
Board have questions?
Yes, Ms. Rue, is that the property right there by the food bank and the NCDOT is on there?
It's right by NCDOT,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, at this time, I will open a public hearing to consider the rezoning of 207 South Glenburnie Road from I-1 Industrial to R10S. If anybody would like to come forward, please do so at this time.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second the motion.
I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Public hearing is now closed. What is the pleasure of the board on item number 13?
I just have a question
Yes, sir.
for staff. What is the general motivation behind the change? Is that obviously the zoning board didn't just pick this to.
They did find it consistent with the area. You know, there's a mix of uses out there. However, often these requests, and I believe in this situation, come due to financing and the use on the property matching the zoning.
Any other questions?
If there's no other questions, I'll make a motion to adopt an ordinance to rezone 2 parcels located at 207 South Glenburnie Road from I-1 Industrial District to R10S Residential District.
Second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Astor.
Alderman Astor?
Yes.
Alderman Best?
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw?
Yes.
Alderman Ferguson?
Yes.
Alderman Royal?
Yes.
Mayor Odham?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I did want to just say, in asking that question, I thought, I didn't mean to be like an attorney, know the answer before the question, but there are quite a few situations in New Bern where particularly C3 zoning is in residential areas, and in my line of work all the time I'm having to answer for lenders as to if that in any way affects value and those type of things. So there are some other ones I'll be glad to help you with. But I think I understand why you did that, but thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next up is item number 14. Consider adopting a resolution approving a lease agreement with the We Can Be Association for 408 Hancock Street. Mr. Hughes.
Mayor, at the September 23rd Board of Aldermen meeting, this group made a presentation regarding their desire to potentially lease 408 Hancock Street for the purposes of a children's museum. That proposed lease is included in your packet. It is for a 5-year lease at $1 per year. This group is here. We'd like to ask them to come up and make any comments they'd like to, and you have an opportunity to answer any questions, ask any questions they may have.
Good evening. Does the board have questions regarding this project? I know we've got a couple of new members since those presentations were originally given. So,
I have, I don't have any particular questions. I do have a couple comments about it. Would you entertain?
Sure.
Questions and comments? That building, there's a lot of people who have spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in it. Would that not be the case, Alderman Astor?
Oh, yeah.
And I hate for it to sit there vacant, and I certainly hope that this or some other use will come about. A couple of thoughts I have in thinking about it. I don't mean to impede the process, but we do have 2 new aldermen coming on board in December, and this lease is it for 5 years? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that will actually be longer than the terms of the ensuing board. And I don't really have any questions per se about this lease agreement, but in New Bern, if we're still doing it, we've always asked that anybody that partners with the city of New Bern, that if they have to, most of them that I'm aware of, they are 501c3, and we have always asked for an annual audit to make sure we understand the solvency and the financial stability, and not trying to micromanage a particular entity, etc. I just want to caution the board that there is a new board coming. I would just like to end my comments by asking the first ward alderman, as a courtesy to you, sir, have you had sufficient time, even though there was a presentation in September, I believe? I'm just myself not that familiar because you are a new organization. And we do have a lot of organizations have asked to use that in the past, and all of them were good, but of particular concern was the fact that we were not allowing a 501c3 that was let's just say quasi-competing with the Boys and Girls Club or any other of the 60 benevolent organizations in New Bern, that we wanted to make sure that it was something that really benefited the city. And these 60 organizations that I speak of are part of what make New Bern what it is, that there are things that the city of New Bern doesn't do, maybe could do, but thankfully groups like this do it for us. So we do like to partner. But the concern I have is whether or not the first ward alderman has had sufficient time to review this and become familiar with it. And let me just look at the lease. I did have a question.
Can I make a comment just for a minute? You said we were a new organization. We Can Be has been established since 2020, so we have had 5 years. This new model that we're establishing with the Children's Museum is new to us, but that We Can Be has been in place as a nonprofit since 2020.
So I understand that you have already got commitments from Publix and some other organizations to help with it. And who are those organizations that are helping you?
So we really would like to have the lease confirmed and signed before we are willing to kind of confirm that information. But I can tell you, I have personally done a lot. I'm Jane Dale, by the way, and I have done a lot of fundraising for organizations in New Bern. I have helped, not single-handedly, but I've helped raise well over $1 million for nonprofits in New Bern. And I've never seen any effort have this much support, have this much excitement. People are beating down the door to help support this, and they're saying it's going to be an economic help to downtown New Bern. It's going to help with recruitment for jobs for young families when they want to move here. It's going to be a great source of entertainment for grandchildren who are visiting from out of town. I personally, I don't see anything that could potentially be better for that location.
The only question I'll ask you while you're doing such a good job of making your presentation, there is an assignment clause in here. I believe it's item 10. If the Board of Aldermen approved your assigning portions of, and the attorney for the city can answer this a little better than I can. If there's an assignment of sorts and there's an income stream generation of any sort, where does that money go?
So, Alderman Outlaw, to answer your question, the terms of the lease is $1 per year, and there's also an insurance requirement. Other than those two financial commitments, there's no financial or revenue stream that will come to the city of New Bern as a result of this lease.
Okay, so is this a hypothetical that if, or item number 10, if we enter this lease and they sublet a portion of it and the income generated was a couple $1,000s a month, that would go to the organization and not the city, is that correct?
It would not go to the city. It would be controlled by whatever financial arrangement or whatever contract between the subletter and the lessee under this agreement.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Alderman Ferguson.
So I have looked at the lease and I've talked to Foster about it, and I've gone through the presentation. It's my understanding, now I don't see it on the printout that's in front of me, that there was a purpose provision in the lease agreement that would say it would be used as a public purpose for a children's museum, and that there would be some notice requirements for termination if that was not a part of the purpose of the lease, is my understanding of the terms of the lease. Is that correct?
Sir, yes, sir. Provision number 3 controls the use of the property, and that provision expressly says that this lease is for the provision of a children's museum and related engagement and enrichment activities. And if the premises are ever used for something other than that, then that would constitute default.
And from what I understand from Alderman Outlaw's concern is the assignment of the lease, for whatever reason, it's not a children's museum, that would be an event of default that we could terminate. But the primary concern I heard from Alderman Outlaw is that we do have 2 new board members who will be taking office in December, and that this body would be voting on a 5-year term lease that those new members would not have an opportunity to speak on. I'm all for a children's museum. I think it's a fantastic amenity that New Bern needs, and obviously I'm biased that I do think it needs to be downtown, and so I like the idea. I want to see more of the schematics, more of the plan for the fundraising and what goes into the exhibits detailing it, but I also can hear Alderman Outlaw's concern that you have a new board taking effect that is going to be essentially saddled with this lease without any input. So I'm prepared to vote on it tonight, but I'm also prepared if the board wants to continue it until the December meeting for those new members to have their say. That's fine as well. My understanding, though, from talking to these ladies tonight is that they need, the lease agreement is one step in being able to move forward in their plan for putting together fundraising, putting together the strategic plan for opening that museum and what that looks like. So I don't want to hinder that ability either, but that's my understanding. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Alderman Best.
Well, the only problem that I have with this lease agreement is that we have other nonprofit organizations that is leasing city property, but they're only under a 1-year lease. Am I correct, Mr. Hughes?
That is correct.
So that's the only problem I have with that they're under. I don't want us to start something here, with a 5-year lease, and then down the road we have other nonprofits coming in, and I think if we start this, then there's something that we need to pursue. And the other organizations that are currently with the city, that's leasing city property, how are we going to justify that? They're here, it's brought before this board yearly. And that's the way that I would like to see it to be yearly, that the nonprofits come before this board.
So
because that is.
How long is the lease for the Fireman's Museum? The current Fireman's Museum?
Longer than a year.
Yeah, it's a 20-year lease, I believe.
I believe what Alderman Best is referring to, we did have a 1-year, you may know this better, Alderman Astor, we had a 1-year lease agreement with the Fireman Museum. They were having issues raising funds.
We could not raise funds with 1-year lease.
Because people were not willing to make that commitment without the commitment from the city. So I think that's probably the reason why the ask was for longer than 1 year.
It is, and that's one of the things they stated. Their goal is to do significant improvements to the facility, and they would requested longer than a 1-year lease for that purpose.
Okay, well, if there's other nonprofits that are under a 1-year lease, so I guess if those nonprofits are good with that 1-year lease, then I don't have a problem with this 5-year lease. And to my knowledge, I think the area day reporting is under a 1-year lease.
That's correct.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know how would that affect. I think that we need to, across the board, extend the same lease agreement to all of the nonprofits that are leasing.
I believe area day reporting funding is from year to year, if I'm not mistaken. That might be why the lease is maybe a one-year term versus an extended one.
Mr. Hughes, is there a timeline? I thought we had discussed, and I don't see it in the lease agreement up here, but is there a timeline for these ladies a year to get together, to fundraise, to put up the exhibits, to open, that we can tie to the lease agreement so that it kind of belays the concerns of it just sitting here for 5 years and not having any investment?
We can certainly include that as an addendum, and I'm happy to let them make any comments that they feel comfortable speaking on any potential timelines for this project.
Our estimated completion, so it does take quite a bit of time for improvements to the building and for the exhibits to be created. So I believe there's a stipulation in the rental agreement that after 2 years, if it is that correct?
That's what we were informed, that after 2 years, if we were not functioning, working as a children's museum, then we would have 30 days to vacate. We intend on opening this museum in 2026.
What part of 2026?
That depends on how soon we get our lease. So again, we've not opened any receiving of a donation. So we can't say you 100% that we have this money from this person because we are waiting until we sign our lease. However, again, we've been an organization. We have organizations that have donated to us in the past that are interested. We've had local communities that are interested. So as soon as we get that money, and then if there's not any major foundational things, we already have all of our exhibits with our blueprints. We have the renderings. We just need to get our lease, receive our funding, and then we will.
I'm going to try to support. I mean, any of these activities are good for the city and everything. I don't have a problem other than the fact that we have a couple of new aldermen. My suggestion would be is for your committee to meet with the first ward alderman, and it not being a quorum, the other two aldermen that are coming on in December, and then that kind of an ad hoc committee could, report back to the board at the first meeting in December. And having been involved in fundraising, and particularly the Firemen's Museum and other organizations, the farmers market, you can't raise money on a one-year lease. And you really sometimes can't raise money on a 5-year lease, because in reading your lease agreement, it sounds like you guys are going to be making some capital improvements there, and you're not going to be able to fundraise without a firm commitment from the city. So that's my 2 cents worth is for you, and that's just my advice to the board. And I don't know that I need that in form of a motion. It could be tabled without a motion until the next meeting. Is that correct, Councilor?
The board would need to entertain a motion.
Yeah, and with that in mind, you again meet with the two incoming aldermen and the first ward alderman.
And Mayor, I think Alderman Ferguson asked a question. I want to make sure he got an answer. There is a document before you that is a copy of the lease agreement that was revised today. The only change to that document is in paragraph 2 for terms, which would allow to address the concern that you raised. If there were concerns about the building not being utilized within a reasonable amount of time, there's some language that we've added in recognizing that concern that would give the city the option to terminate the lease.
So I'm looking at section 2 of the document in front of me that says, in the event the lease is not open to the public for the purposes stated herein by and a date. It's blank.
Yes, sir.
So can I put, is that what you're saying? That
Yes, sir. Based on the information that you've received, you could install a date there.
And so you said within 2 years?
That's what we were told, discussed today, that within 2 years. We intend on opening within the year. So that is our goal. But again, I know things happen, but that is our goal. We believe with the renderings, the quotes we've received already, that we believe this is very feasible for us to do.
Do you think you can have it open by December 31st, 2027?
Yes.
All right. With that change, I would make a motion.
Yes.
I would make a motion to adopt a resolution approving a lease agreement with We Can Be Association for 408 Hancock Street as presented, with the date filled in that the public purpose stated here in a children's museum shall be open to the public by December 31st, 2027.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion?
Did that resolve your concern, Alderman Outlaw?
Well, my number one concern was what First Ward Alderman felt like, because it is his ward. But I do still have concerns of the incoming alderman. But I hear your motion in your second, and I call for the vote.
Is there further discussion?
What was the date again? October 2027?
December 31st, 2027, which would be 2 years, about 2 years and a month.
Okay.
May I say something real quickly? As we know, as people who have fundraised for nonprofits have, we know that the end of the year is really the busy time of year to fundraise. We have events such as Giving Tuesday coming up, and we're really going to do a big push for fundraising in December. For nonprofits, January, February, they're really slow months. So if we were to push this back another month, this would really put us behind on our fundraising goals, and it could really have a pretty massive effect. So I really do ask the current Board of Aldermen to please consider this, have some faith, please look at the documents that you have received, and please vote with your conscience.
Okay. Any further discussion with the board?
May I say something as well? I'm
Sure.
so sorry. We would also like to invite anyone who would like to follow the progress of the museum. We can post that on our website, or you're welcome to come and visit, or we can email anyone with our progress. So we'd be free to open that up to all of you. So.
All right, thank you. Let's have a roll call vote starting with Alderman Best, please.
Alderman Best?
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw?
Yes.
Alderman Ferguson?
Yes.
Alderman Royal?
Yes.
Alderman Astor?
Yes.
Mayor Odham?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, board. Next is item number 15 through 18 can actually be considered together, so I'll read them all at one time in the spirit of saving some time. Number 15 is consider adopting a resolution approving the sale of tax parcel ID 8006117A on the corner of Dunn and North Bern Streets. Item number 16 is consider adopting a resolution approving the sale of 804 West Street. Number 17, consider adopting a resolution approving the sale of 809 Green Street. And item number 18 is consider adopting a resolution approving the sale of 819 Miller Street. Mr. Hughes.
So on the first one, a bid was submitted in the amount of $3,785 for the parcel in question. The bid was advertised, but no upset bids received. The vacant parcel is the former site of the Mary White Park. It was removed from the park system in March of 2025 and subsequently declared surplus property. The bidder owns the adjacent 2.06 acre tract of land. On the next one, a bid was submitted in the amount of $3,825 for the purchase of the 804 West Street property. The bid was advertised with no upset bids received. The property is a vacant .061 acre residential tract with a tax value of $7,650. It was acquired by the city and county in May of 2015 through tax foreclosure. If the property is sold for this bid, the city will receive $1,426.77, and the county will receive $2,398.23. On the next property, a bid was received in the amount of $3,000 for the purchase of 809 Green Street. The bid was advertised, but no upset bids were received. The property is a vacant .109 acre residential tract with a tax value of $6,000. It was acquired by the city and county in August of 2019 through tax foreclosure. If the property is sold for this bid, the city will receive $586.22, and the county will receive $2,413.78. And the last property bid was received in the amount of $3,000 for the purchase of 819 Miller Street. The bid was advertised with no upset bids received. The property is vacant .127 acre residential tract with a tax value of $6,000. It was acquired by the city and county in September 2017 through tax foreclosure. If the property is sold for this bid, the city will receive $241.50, and the county will receive $2,758.50 from the proceeds.
Does the board have questions on all of those or any of those?
If there's no questions, may I make a motion?
Sure.
Okay. I make a motion to adopt a resolution approving the sale of tax partial 8006-117A on the corner of Dunn and North Bern Street. Also approve a resolution for the sale of 804 West Street, sale of 809 Green Street, and sale of 819 Middle Street.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Outlaw.
Alderman Outlaw,
Yes.
Alderman Ferguson,
Yes.
Alderman Royal,
Yes.
Alderman Astor,
Yes.
Alderman Best,
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Next is item number 19. Consider adopting a resolution to rename Trent Street to Luke Martin Drive. Mr. Hughes.
So we received a request from Mr. Robert Martin Jr. to rename this street, the Trent Street is located in the Pembroke community, and he has requested that this street be renamed Luke Martin Drive. Trent Street is sometimes confused with Trent Road on mapping apps, and renaming of the street could potentially eliminate this confusion. Mr. Luke Martin was a teacher in Pamlico County and served as the lead brick mason in the restoration of Tryon Palace.
Does the board have questions?
No questions, but I would certainly like to give some dialogue regarding Mr. Luke Martin. He was the son of an ex-slave and Civil War Union soldier. This is noteworthy. His father was enslaved at a plantation near Plymouth, North Carolina, but escaped and became a member of the 1st North Carolina Colored Volunteers, later called the 35th U.S. Colored Troops. Mr. Martin was a master brick mason, a contractor, and a teacher who served as one of the lead brick masons at the Tryon Palace. He was also a recipient of the Order of the Longleaf Pine and was ordered on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives by Representative G.K. Butterfield. And then on September 18th in 2014, Craven County designated that day as Luke P. Martin Jr. Day. He was a member of the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, and in 2013, New Bern Academy unveiled a historical marker that honors his father's regiment. In 2015, Mr. Martin died at the age of 97. I say tonight it is suitable that a street in Pembroke bear his name in honor of his lifelong residency in the Pembroke community and in recognition of his contributions to our city. His family is present here tonight, and I hope this board will vote favorably to rename Trent Street to Luke Martin Drive. Thank you.
Is that your motion?
I motion that Trent Street be renamed to Luke Martin Drive.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion?
I actually thought you called for discussion.
Yeah. Is there any discussion now?
I am done.
All right. Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Ferguson.
Alderman Ferguson,
Yes.
Alderman Royal,
Yes.
Alderman Astor,
Yes.
Alderman Best,
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw,
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations to the family.
Awesome.
Next up is item number 20. Consider adopting a resolution authorizing the approval of recommended projects from the MSD Advisory Committee. Mr. Hughes.
On November 4th, the MSD Advisory Committee met and made a unanimous recommendation to the governing board to consider the following projects. The first one is the Pollock Street Sidewalk Improvement Project. This would include replacing the existing sidewalks to the north and south of the 200 block of Pollock Street, which goes from East Front Street to Craven Street, with an exposed aggregate sidewalk. Estimated cost for this project is $100,000. The second project is the Craven Street Parking Lot Improvement Project, and this includes completely renovating the city parking lot beside Mortgage Restaurant by repaving, improving the landscaping and walkways, which will connect to Bear Plaza. Estimated cost for this project is $750,000. And the third project is supporting the North Carolina Main Street Conference, which will be held here in New Bern on March 10th through 12th, 2026. The event will be hosted by Swiss Bear and the city of New Bern. Approximately 1,000 people are expected to attend this event from across the state. Funds would be used to purchase banners and support opening events at a cost of $10,000. Funds for these projects would come from the Municipal Service District Enterprise Fund. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Board have questions?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the approval of the recommended projects from the Municipal Service District Advisory Committee.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion?
Just one thing to note for discussion, especially when it comes to the inner core area and the connection of Middle Street to Craven Street, the extension of Bear Plaza. This is something that board has been discussing, I believe, for over a decade. And to have unanimous recommendation at last week's meeting was a true accomplishment and feat to show that we are going to start working through phase one of making that a better place for downtown. And so I think this is extremely needed. It has support, and so I'd ask that you vote for it.
Well said. Any other comments? Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Royal.
Alderman Royal,
Yes.
Alderman Astor,
Yes.
Alderman Best,
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw,
Yes.
Alderman Ferguson,
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Next is item number 21. Consider adopting a resolution certifying and approving the October 7th, 2025 bond referendum results. Ms. Stevens.
At the October 7th election, voters approved bonds for $10 million for street and sidewalk improvements, $8 million for parks and recreation projects, and $6 million for stormwater improvements. The general statutes require the board to declare and certify the results of the bond referendum. After the adoption of this resolution, the results of the bond referendum will be published in the newspaper on November 15th, 2025.
Does the board have questions? It's a pleasure of the board on item number 21.
Make a motion we adopt the resolution certifying and approving the October 7th, 2025 bond referendum results.
Second motion.
Have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Astor.
Alderman Astor.
Yes.
Alderman Best.
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw.
Yes.
Alderman Ferguson.
Yes.
Alderman Royal.
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Next up, we will consider 22, 23, and 24 together. I'll read them all now. 22 is consider adopting a capital project ordinance to establish the Street and Sidewalk Improvement Project Fund. Number 23 is consider adopting a capital project ordinance to establish the Parks and Recreation Improvement Project Fund. And then item number 24 is consider adopting a capital project ordinance to establish the Stormwater Improvement Project Fund. Ms. Stevens.
The city is considering the adoption of the 3 capital project ordinances to establish dedicated project funds for the upcoming improvements funded through the voter-approved bonds. The Streets and Sidewalk Improvement Project Fund would establish a fund of $10 million bond supporting city streets and sidewalk upgrades. The Parks and Recreation Improvement Project Fund establishes the fund for $8 million bond supporting the enhancements of parks and recreation facilities. And the Stormwater Improvement Project Fund establishes a fund for the $6 million bond supporting stormwater infrastructure improvement. Each ordinance authorizes temporary advances from city funds to cover project expenditures incurred prior to the issuance of bonds. These advances will be reimbursed once bond proceeds are received.
Does the board have questions?
I make a motion that we approve items 22, 23, and 24, unless we have to read all that stuff over again.
Second.
I think we're good. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Best.
Alderman Best.
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw.
Yes.
Alderman Ferguson.
Yes.
Alderman Royal.
Yes.
Alderman Astor.
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Next is item number 25, which appears to be related to the last items, and that's to consider adopting a resolution approving a declaration of intent to reimburse expenditures for the $10 million street and sidewalk improvement bond, $8 million park and recreation bond, and $6 million stormwater bond. Ms. Stevens.
Pursuant to IRS regulations, it is necessary to adopt the declaration of official intent to reimburse prior to incurring expenses for the purchase of items associated with the 3 bond projects. Doing so allows the city to reimburse itself for items paid for prior to the issuance of the bonds.
Board have questions?
If no questions, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution approving a declaration of intent to reimburse expenditures for the 10 million street and sidewalk improvement bonds, 8 million parks and rec, and 6 million stormwater bonds.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Outlaw.
Alderman Outlaw,
Yes.
Alderman Ferguson,
Yes.
Alderman Royal,
Yes.
Alderman Astor,
Yes.
Alderman Best,
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Next is item number 26. Consider adopting an ordinance amending the 2019 Electric Improvements Project Fund. Ms. Stevens.
City-owned electric lines that conflict with the NCDOT roadway improvements and Havelock along Miller Boulevard and the NC 101 area are being relocated. At the October 14th, 2025 meeting, the board adopted a resolution approving an agreement with NCDOT that provided that DOT would reimburse the city for engineering expenses associated with the relocation. The amendment recognizes the estimated expenses and the reimbursement of $166,548.
Does the board have questions?
So it's the reimbursement for the engineering. What about the relocation?
This is just the engineering. Relocation will come later when those estimates come in.
Thank you. I make a motion that we adopt an ordinance amending the 2019 Electric Improvement Project Fund.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Ferguson.
Alderman Ferguson,
Yes.
Alderman Royal,
Yes.
Alderman Astor,
Yes.
Alderman Best,
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw,
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Next is item number 27. Consider adopting a budget ordinance amendment for FY 25-26. Ms. Stevens.
This amendment recognizes Martin Marietta's donation of $1,000 to the fire department. It also amends the MSD fund to appropriate $860,000 towards projects already discussed.
Does the board have any questions?
Yes, I have a question. $1,000 is coming from Martin Marietta, from the MSD funds?
No, that's coming from the Martin Marietta Corporation. They're making a donation to the fire department.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Motion to adopt the ordinance amendment, is that number 27?
Yes, ma'am.
For fiscal year 2025 through 2026.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call starting with Alderman Royal.
Alderman Royal,
Yes.
Alderman Astor,
Yes.
Alderman Best,
Yes.
Alderman Outlaw,
Yes.
Alderman Ferguson,
Yes.
Mayor Odham.
Yes, motion carries. Next up is item number 28, appointments. Are there any appointments tonight?
Mr. Mayor, I have two for the board's consideration. I believe from the recommendation or the list that I received from the clerk, the HPC has an open spot for the Ward 1 appointment. Miss Molly Bales is currently on that board and is willing to serve and is eligible for reappointment. So I would move to reappoint Miss Molly Bales to the HPC.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to reappoint Molly Bales. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, she is reappointed.
And then with the election, I resigned my spot on the New Bern Board of Adjustment. I believe that having an attorney with some land use experience has greatly helped that board. And so I did reach out and have a conversation with Mr. George Oliver, who has dealt with land use and some zoning as part of his practice. He was interested and willing to serve in that spot on the Board of Adjustment. And so with that, I would move to appoint George Oliver to the Board of Adjustment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? He is hereby appointed. Anything else? Does anybody else have any appointments tonight? Okay. Number 29 is the attorney's report.
Nothing tonight, sir.
No baby to report yet.
Not yet.
All right. Well, good luck on that. Item number 30, city manager's report.
Nothing to report tonight, sir.
All right. 31 is new business. We'll start with Alderman Outlaw.
Foster, when are we going to talk about a retreat?
So you're going to be notified. You're going to be polled about potential dates. The retreat, we want to have that within the first 2 weeks of January. So that's what we're working on now.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Alderman Best.
Nothing tonight.
Alderman Astor.
Nothing tonight, sir.
Alderman Royal.
Nothing tonight.
Alderman Ferguson.
Nothing tonight.
And I have nothing. And I believe we do need a closed session.
We do, sir, pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11, 8-4, to discuss potential economic development incentives.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We are now in closed session.
I have to do it to notify us.
No wonder Bobby goes down.
Okay, we are back in open session. Is there anything else the board would like to discuss this evening?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned.